Raptors fans, do not fall for what the media is saying regarding this year's draft. I am seeing only good things being told, preaching to the Raptors fans that this is a very quality draft. However, from what I have done on my deep dive on each of the draft picks in the 2024 NBA draft for the Toronto Raptors, I do see a lot of room to be concerned and worried regarding this year's rookies. But there is potential in what we have drafted.
In the 2024 NBA Draft, the Toronto Raptors select Jacoby Walter from Baylor University.
Beginning the 2024 draft, the Toronto Raptors took a player who had fallen further and further down the draft boards throughout the college season in Jacoby Walter. Walter, who some saw as a top 10 pick earlier in the year, had found him sliding in the draft boards throughout the season due to some choppy shooting from primarily the three-point line as the season progressed. As the analysts are saying, they are hoping Jacoby is more so the early version we saw at Baylor in the first 13 games of the season. As a freshman, he had shot 41% from the three-point line. However, bringing those numbers down throughout the season, finishing off at 34% from the three-point line, as well as 37.6% from the field. A very inefficient scorer who has already shown in college that he struggles to create his own shot. This being said, it doesn't mean that he can't develop the ability to create a shot. However, with the Raptors roster already lacking shot creation, as I do not find really anybody on the team that good of a shot creator for themselves or their teammates. Yes, we can play make. However, to actually get yourself open, whether it be on a post up or a move of some kind to actually create that space, that is where we currently lack a player with that ability. However, I don't see Walter fulfilling that need even at 19, nor any of the picks later in the draft that Masai and the Raptors had acquired. I believe Masai and the Raptors management are hoping that Walter gets to the early season form that he was showing in Baylor. However, to go on hopes here, myself as a Raptors fan am a little concerned.
The Toronto Raptors select Jonathan Mogbo from the University of San Francisco.
With the first pick of the second round of the NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors went and reached, in some people's opinion, mine as well, on Jonathan Mogbo. Mogbo actually is, in my opinion, the most luring of the drafted players that we had made outside of the final pick to me. However, I still do see room for concern with Mogbo here, as 14 points, 10 rebounds, 3.5 assists in 2023-24 seems like a very solid season. However, to expect the exact same stat line to translate over to the NBA, first off, is a pretty big reach, as well as, especially the assist numbers, I don't see him having the ball in his hand as much as he did in college. So that part of his game, yes, it may be able to translate over. However, I don't think he's going to have the opportunity as much as he was previously given. He did shoot quite efficiently from the field, having shot in 2 years of college, 62% from the field and no three-pointer. So that is a little bit of room for concern. However, I expect us to use him more as our power forward center, possibly being one of the big options with a 7'2" wingspan that he has. Something of mention for Mogbo would be from his first year playing over at Missouri State. He had averaged 43% on free throws, and in his second year prior to being drafted with San Francisco, he did bring it up to nearly 70% from the free throw line, showing that he is progressing in shooting, right? However, it clearly isn't the strongest point of his game, being the size he is. I see Ogbo picking up the defensive responsibilities that both Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby held throughout the years, however, not really being able to translate the direct offensive production that these players had throughout the years. The more you end up looking at it, he reminds me actually like Pascal Siakam, just where Pascal Siakam didn't enter the league with the passing capabilities that Mogbo's showing. At least Siakam was showing the capability or the potential that he could shoot the three moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see the exact development route that the Raptors choose to go with Mogbo. I just had to throw in the mention of Zach Edey eclipsing a lot of people's expectation, falling in the top 10. Congrats, Zach. Toronto boy. And with our second pick in the second round, the Raptors went and grabbed Jamal Shead, point guard from Houston University. Sheed comes in with a
The
lot
Utah
of
Jazz
weaknesses
select
in his game
Cody Williams
immediately,
from the
some of which
University of
are being an
Colorado.
inefficient shooter from distance, shooting in 140 games nearly in his college career, only 30% from the field, so clearly not being the best three-point shooter there is, as well as his height at 6'1", being a factor against his draft stock. The Raptors hope to get a second coming of Kyle Lowry or Fred
Grizzlies
VanVleet
select
out of Sheed.
Ulrich Shamshe from Bafang, Cameroon, and the NBA Academy Africa in Senegal.
Just like many other analysts, reporters, or YouTubers out there, I have not much knowledge of Ulrich Shamshe, just like many. Shamshe, 6'10", born December 30th, 2005, an extremely young prospect who I imagine at this point being December 30th of 05, he still has yet to hit his full growth spurt, so the potential of possibly becoming a 7-foot plus player on the Raptors roster is an extremely likely thing, I believe, in the coming years here. He, as well as undrafted free agent Brandon Carlson, bring the height that we didn't really get in the first couple picks, at least in terms of full true centers. As with what we saw last year, Jakob Poeltl goes down, we are screwed as a roster. I would give this draft at best maybe a B minus to B range. Personally, I'm even going the route of like a C plus grade on the draft. However, a lot of analysts and reporters are saying otherwise. Let me know what you think below. Leave a like, comment, and sub. Thanks.